Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Outside, the art and science of watch collection. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very unique watch company from the Netherlands called Christiaan van der Klaauw. And Christiaan van der Klaauw makes astronomical watches like nobody else. His watches are the best mechanical astronomical watches on Earth. All right, they're really good. In other words, unfortunately, they're really expensive, and it's hard to it's important to know about them for this reason. You can find some really good buys on these. They no matter what they start off as, they're either on the used market or sometimes the price will come down. There are not a lot of people who have got to have one, but they're very cool watches. So we're going to take a look at them. There's a lot of things they do, so we better get going. Okay, the first one is one that is the most affordable. It's called the Series 1974. Right around $5,000. It's probably a little different than that, but that's right about where it is, and that's for the steel version. They have it in 4 different versions. They have it with steel with a white face or white dial. They have it with steel with a black dial, and then they have I guess they call it the silver dial with both gold and then a combination of gold and steel. And in the back of the watch, they're most of them are automatic. I think all of them are, as a matter of fact. They have this special rotor is two things. One, it's a shape of a sun, and it's a shape of claws. There are 12 little claws around the sun, and that's the rotor. So it's even got an interesting rotor. The one shown there is from with a gold case, and of course on the silver, on the steel case, it looks different than that. Now, what does it do? It does a moon phase, and it probably all of them. There's no other moon phase that's as good. And on some of the other ones they have, and this is why Christiaan van der Klaauw is so famous. I mean, if you want something with anything having to do with astronomical, with the celestial, this is the guy to go to. Now, one of the things that he does to me that it's really interesting is sort of have what looks like a half a California dial, and on the top half you have from 9, 10, 11, then a sun for 12, and then 1, 2, and 3, all in Roman numerals, and then down below there's nothing. And there is something. In this case, there's a moon phase, or there's always something going on, and it's to me it's really interesting because you can glance at your watch and still tell what time it is. It just takes a little more creativity. During the time it's going to be awake, usually during working hours, from 9 to 5, or at least from 9 to 3, you're in pretty good shape. But the point that he's making is the main thing here is the whatever astronomical feature that they're showing. Okay, so that's the Ceres 1974. Ceres, I think, was the smallest moon or the biggest moon or something like that off of some planet. I'm not even positive what it is. Most of them, too, run at 4 hertz or 28,800 vibrations per hour. Most of them are around 40 millimeters. Some, I know they're up to 44. Some might be 42, so they're pretty good-sized watches. Okay, so the Series 1974. 1974 was when Christiaan van der Klaauw started his clock company. He made these really amazing clocks, and then he started making watches in the 90s, and then I think in 2009 he turned it over to the guy he had been working with, and he'd been doing it ever since then. This next watch is called the CVDK Planetarium. CVDK stands for Christiaan van der Klaauw, of course. This one houses the smallest planetarium in the world, according to them. At least it's the smallest mechanical one, right? There are probably some app that has the same thing on it, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about mechanical watches here. Okay, and it shows it shows the orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn around the sun. And there's, at the bottom, you can see these little concentric circles down there, and these little small, look like beads or marbles, and they go around, and around that on the outside, the outer ring, they're the signs of the zodiac, which are to give you the seasons, and plus there's a series of numbers as well, so you can you can track it both ways. At the top, there's a 31-day calendar, and on the back you can see this. And they do this incredible work on the on movement. By the way, the movements here is it's CVDK 7386. They have three movements. That's one of them, and then they have the 7382 and the 7283. The other ones some combination of SOPROD, I think, and then they have their own modules, and the main ones that they're paying attention to are the modules that they have for the different astronomical features in the particular watch. This planetarium has got a lot of them. You know, for 25,250 euro, that's really not that bad. And so it's something that you can probably find in the pre-owned market. If you can find them, they're hard to find for a lot less. But this is just a remarkable thing. Again, it's got 96 hours reserve, and it's got twin barrels, which is really nice. And it's like it's a 40 millimeter size watch. So you want a little planetarium on your wrist, Christiaan van der Klaauw is the place to go. This next one is sort of really part of a series. It's called the Real Moon Journey, and what it has, it's got a little three-dimensional moon in there, and it turns around and turns different colors. You can see the movement there. It uses a 7382, and I think other ones in this whole series has that same movement or some variation on it. This one too is 40 millimeters, and it's 4 hertz, and it deviates only 1 day in 11,000 years. So if you, after 11,000 years, if it's more than 1 day deviation, you get your money back. This one is listed at $27,750. Again, these are very expensive watches, but they don't make a lot of them either. But boy, I tell you, if you like this kind of thing, this is the thing to do it. And you can see the moon turn. By the way, you got to go to their site, because on their site they have like looking at some kind of function that they have, and then they'll speed up the time so you can see it, and so you know what's going on. I've tried to do it with multiple pictures on some of these. I'll show you that in a second. So this is called the Real Moon Joure. Okay, now here's one of the real moon ones, and again they have a little real moon at the bottom down there, and this is the 7383. So this is one of the main ones. But on the left side, you can see what the tides are like around 5 o'clock. And I'm not sure whether that's the morning or evening, but that's the tides. They show the tides high. And then at another time, they show them as low. And so you'll see at the top, you'll see the waves are either filling it up when the tide is high, or they're down toward the bottom as they are on the one on the right when it's low. Also, too, you can see the moon phase at the same time with this three-dimensional moon. So if you like that kind of stuff, this is a real kick. And you can, like I said, you go to the site and you can see it animated, and the tide going up and down, and the moon turning and everything, and also the hands moving on the watch. Uh, this one is really amazing. It's called the Real Moon 1980. I'm not sure where the 1980 is from. Maybe it's from 1980 on, but that's what it's called. This has got everything. Really amazing. Right up around the 6 o'clock, you'll see the signs of the zodiac representing those periods of the month for that. And in the winter, the sun is relatively low, and in the summer it gets higher. And so here, as you move from month to month, like on this one is the one on the left is February 19th, and it's relatively low. And then you go over to April 22nd, and it's much higher. And then when you go into June and July, it'll be all the way at the top, and then it'll start coming down again. I don't know why. It's crazy cool, I think. Then on the left, you've got the dates. And then on the right, you have eclipses. And I'm not sure how that works or how to read it or anything else. But like I said, this is for people who are into that kind of thing. It's really amazing. And it's all mechanical. So I think it's, like I said, it's really cool. Okay. This one is the Titan Perpetual calendar. Titan is for the largest moon, and it's honor of Christiaan who's discovered the rings of Saturn and its largest moon, Titan. So they call that the Titan Perpetual calendar. And again, with the moon phase, of course, it's 44 millimeters, pretty good size. Some of them are big like this. Now, this has got a movement called the 8801, and so I'm not sure if the base of that is Christiaan Klaauw, or they use something, like I said, they've used Soprod. Soprod's pretty good movement house, so it's not cheap, but that's not what they're really selling their watches for, because they have all of the astronomical, I mean. Okay, so this, and then you flip it over on the back, it's got the micro rotor, could be Washer. They're not, that's one thing, they don't give you that much information. I wish they'd give you more on that. It took me a while to get the fact that I think it's in the series 1974 is at the base is a Soprod. Okay, so this is the Titan Perpetual calendar. Okay, this other one, now this is a very cool one. It's called the Retro Moon. And at 6 o'clock, there's a little dial like this. And as the moon goes through its phases, the little dial moves from one to the other. And the cool thing about the Retro Moon is that you can see what's coming next as it goes along. And it's just sort of a very cool little thing. I think that all of the dials on this one are black with gold, the moons on it. Again, 40 millimeters, you flip it over on the back, and it's got the 1086, which is not one of their in-house bases for it, but of course the complication is the astronomical ones are theirs. But I think it's another one I think is really cool. Okay, the Orion is just a kick in the head. Again, this is one of the ones that if you go to their site, they have it hurried up, and so you can see where the stars are looking in different directions. And then at the very bottom, you can see there's a little thing like that, and they have a astrological sign. On the one on the left is Aries, and the one on the right is Leo. And so these are different times of the year based on the dates that are for the different zodiac signs. And again, you have what I call the half California from the 9 to 3 in Roman numerals, with the sun at the top, with the sun with the claws being 12 o'clock. Okay, so that's the Orion, and I guess is the constellation you can see change over time, mechanical again. Uh, Now, these two are the hypernova and the supernova. The hypernova is a chronograph, and the supernova is, I think it's an annual calendar. I don't think it's a perpetual calendar. And again, these, I'm not sure what the base is. Well, the bases or the movement they're using is 7759 and 7760. Again, these weren't listed as one of their movements where I go to in watchbase.com. So I'm not sure whether they're in-house or not. The chronograph and the annual calendar one, or both have annual calendars. They have the day date as well as the month, and they have what's called a hand date, and that's what the outside numbers a hand goes and tells you what day of the month it is. And of course, there's a moon phase. There's a moon phase on everything. Now, the final one I want to take a look at is sort of interesting. Van Cleef and Arpels has won a number of awards at the Grand Prix. And the reason they win so many is that because they have some collaboration with somebody. Usually it's, most of the ones they've won anyway have been collaborations with Agenhor, but they also have collaborations with Christiaan van der Klaauw. And this year, the one that was just had in the 2018 one, they won the ladies' complication. And this is a planetarium. And we were looking at the planetarium, and they had the different planets going around. And I think they have jewels for the planets on this one. God knows what this thing costs. It's probably over $100,000, but it's cool. I mean, to have something like this. The unusual thing about it, now remember, it's Van Cleef and Arpels doing the design and so forth. Christiaan van der Klaauw just did the astronomical movement aspect of it. And so when you look at they have 1 through 12 around the side, like a quote regular watch would have. On the back there's they've got diamonds and they have Mercury, Venus, and so forth around the side, and have some other numbers there as well. I think those are calendar dates, and then at the bottom, probably where you are on the planet or something. But one of the things, there are collaborations that Christiaan van der Klaauw has had. They haven't, on their own, in their own name, they haven't won a Grand Prix. I don't know if they've even entered them, but when Van Cleef and Arpels and possibly some other ones, when they want to have a astronomical, or I suppose even astrological feature to their watch, the go-to guys are the ones at Christiaan van der Klaauw. And so they won a whole bunch of awards. There's this thing called a magazine called 24, and they have the best European watch, and they've won a number of those. But so anyway, and they're part of the Independent Watch Association, which is something that's a big deal that was set up by F.P. Joure. They're very well respected watchmakers. Okay, well, like I said, these are fairly expensive, and so I don't expect everyone to run out and buy one, but, on the other hand, you know about them, and you can find some deals. It's minding your own business, and if this is something that interests you, all of a sudden, wham, there's something like a really good deal because someone wants some money that they need it for some reason, and they're having a hard time selling a watch. So you end up with a super expensive watch for a very good deal. Like your opinion. I'd really like to hear what you think about this company, and also if you'd like to subscribe, this is an invitation to do so. And until next Friday, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Outside, the Art and Science of Watch Collection, and please, comments are very important. Hope to see you then.